viewers, you are watching Afghanistan Report and I'm your host Rabia Bashir. The main stories are: Taliban rockets hit Afghan parliament compound. Afghanistan cricket team cancels Pakistan tour amid security concerns. Afghan students in Delhi aspire to take up sports professionally. The Taliban has once again attacked Afghan parliament in Kabul. Rockets fired by Taliban fighters struck the compound of the new parliament building as the country's top intelligence official and caretaker Minister of Interior prepared to address the assembly. We have a report.
Afghanistan's new parliament building in Kabul came under a rocket attack by the Taliban on March 28. Lawmakers said no one was reported wounded, contradicting Taliban spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid, who said the militants' attack had caused heavy casualties. The parliament building, built with assistance from India, was inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in December 2015.
دیوار یکی از تشناب‌های تعمیر جدید پارلمان افغانستان اصابت کرد و خوشبختانه که از اثر فیر این راکت برای هیچ کس صدمه نرسید و هیچ کس زخمی نشد، تنها دیوار یکی از تشناب‌ها صدمه دید.
A senior security official said that 3 long-range rockets were fired from a hilltop several hundred meters from the parliament building. Taliban militants had attacked the Afghanistan parliament building in June last year when many high-level officials were inside.
Afghanistan government blames Pakistan's inter-service intelligence for carrying such coordinated attacks on prominent installations in the country. To speak more on this, we are now joined by Vishal Chandra, Associate Fellow at Institute for Defence Studies and Analysis. Afghanistan blames Pakistan's ISI for backing the Taliban. Has this attack on parliament been directed by handlers in Pakistan?
Well, the Taliban leadership and the Haqqani network both have been operating from Pakistan since 2001 and before. And after 2001, the entire Taliban leadership has been based in Quetta in Pakistan, and this is precisely why the Leadership Council or the Rehbari Shura of the Taliban is known as Quetta Shura. And recently meetings have been held in Islamabad. That itself is a clear indication that Taliban are based, and there have been admissions by former Pakistani officials that Taliban have been based in Pakistan. So obviously Taliban leadership, they have been operating from within Pakistan.
Many Indian installations, including the embassy, was targeted by Taliban in the past. Why?
Well, they have been attacking the symbols of progress, the symbols of democracy, and that explains their attack or their strategy to target any symbol of progress that Afghanistan has made in the last 15 years. The idea is to discredit the political process that began in 2001 and 2. They do not accept democracy, they do not accept the constitution of Afghanistan, and they have been pressing on 2 issues. Number one, establishing a purely Islamic government as interpreted by them, basically implementation of Sharia again as per their own interpretation, and secondly, withdrawal of all foreign forces from the Afghan soil. Now that's a very tricky issue because given the deteriorating security across the country and the fact that President Ghani has already signed a long-term bilateral security agreement with Afghanistan, I think there is no way one could think of Afghanistan without support, without external support in terms of helping Afghanistan with its security, given the threat, rising threat from both Taliban and Haqqani network. I think we also need to bear in mind that today Haqqani network has been integrated in the top Taliban leadership structure.
My next question is, will the Afghan government and its security agencies be able to get rid of Taliban-led violence? How?
Well, Afghanistan, as I said, is facing several challenges. Afghan army has been resisting Taliban advances in various parts of the country. There are various logistical shortcomings at the same time. So obviously Afghanistan is in need of sustained long-term assistance. I think it's very important to help build Afghan capacities given the nature of the threat, the sheer scale of the threat that comes from across the Durand line.
Will you foresee any positive development as Pakistan, US and China are making efforts to bring the Taliban to negotiating table?
Well, you see, the whole issue is ideological. As I said, Taliban are pressing for a Sharia-based, pure Islamic government, as they say, but the problem is the way they interpret religion and the way they interpret the various concepts of religion. Now, keeping in view the diversity, the social diversity of the country, it is very difficult for me to imagine how the concept of or their idea of Islamic Emirate could be reconciled with the idea of Islamic Republic. Afghanistan last 15 years has been a republic. They have a constitution which acknowledges the social diversity, unlike the Taliban ideology. And Afghans have seen the other side of development in the sense that media is very active. There are several private media groups active inside Afghanistan. Mobile network services, internet, everything is easily available. So obviously people are better exposed, unlike in the 80s and 90s, exposed to developments across the globe. They understand what is happening in other parts of the world, and they too want their society, their country to be stable and progressive.
Afghanistan's security chief Masood Andrabi has directly blamed neighboring Pakistan's military intelligence agency for being behind the Taliban's expanded insurgent activities in his country. Briefing lawmakers in the lower house of the National Parliament, the acting head of the National Directorate of Security warned that the Islamist insurgent group is determined to continue and intensify its violent campaign in the coming Afghan warmer months. He said that Pakistan's intelligence agency is completely supporting the Taliban and encouraging them to continue the Afghan war and capture territory. The proposed tour of Afghan cricket team to Pakistan this month has been cancelled due to security concerns which have arisen after the terrorist attacks in Lahore. The Pakistan Cricket Board and the Afghanistan Cricket Board were in talks to organize a 3-match one-day international series in Lahore and Karachi. However, after the unfortunate terrorist attacks in a recreation park in Lahore, the Pakistan Cricket Board officials have decided to cancel the tour and reorganize it once the security situation improves. A large number of Afghan students are studying at various educational institutions across India. Besides education, they are keenly participating in sports with a hope to promote sports in their war-torn country. Afghan students in Delhi are practicing hard to hone their sporting skills.
These Afghan students of South Asian University in Delhi regularly play football. They wish to hone their skills in different sports with the aim to promote the games back home.
We become so much optimistic about the future of sport in Afghanistan because we have some kind of potential and also some kind of talent to work and to show to the other people that Afghanistan is also having some kind of talent to reach in a position that other countries have already reached.
Some financial challenges, also some security challenges are there in Afghanistan. Some fundamentalist people may think that they are not ready to accept it, and the government should facilitate these opportunities for the people of Afghanistan to show their talent in sports and every aspect of life.
Despite the prevailing difficult situation in Afghanistan, the Afghans wish to do well in the field of sports. Afghanistan's cricket team impressed one and all with their performance in the ongoing T20 World Cup.
Afghan students in New Delhi is also so much enthusiastic to play and also support Afghan national teams, especially cricket teams as football teams. We also play sometimes in some open grounded areas as an entertainment as well as for kind of support to Afghan national sport teams. And Afghan students also is having this kind of opportunity to wish for the success of their team, national teams in Afghanistan.
Football and cricket are the most popular sports in war-ravaged Afghanistan. Afghan sportspersons, battling against all odds, have inspired millions of youths across the world with their determination to reach the summit of success.
With that, we come to the end of this week's episode of Afghanistan Report. I am Rabia Bashir taking your leave. We will be back next week with more news and views from Afghanistan. Goodbye and Khuda Hafiz.